Joe, going into your 8th season as Yankees manager, time flies, doesn't it?
Sure does. It's hard to believe that I am in my 8th season. I can't believe that it's went by so fast, but it's been truly a joy in my life.
Last 2 seasons did not result in the playoffs. Does that gnaw at you at all?
Sure does. And I think our guys have approached it that way. I think there's a big chip on their shoulders, and they're frustrated with what's happened the last 2 years, and so far it's been a very good camp.
You know, I know you'd rather look forward than behind, but I wondered when you were eliminated, do you ever do the what ifs? The what if we'd had CeCe for more than 8 starts? What if we'd had Tanaka a little more? Suddenly 7 or 8 more wins and it's a different story.
You know, I really don't. I've never found that I've done that. I've always thought that no matter what happens, no matter what the circumstances, your job doesn't change, the situation doesn't change, and I believe in the guys that we have in the room and that we should make it.
I mentioned 2 guys who are going to be huge to the season, Sabathia and Tanaka. I think people have the impression you're going to be holding your breath with every pitch.
Yeah.
What is your take on that?
No, I don't think I can, because every 5th day, you know, I'd end up with a massive headache, and if it's with 2 guys, it's going to be, you know, 2 out of the 5 days, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and we'll deal with it if something does happen. So far, everything has been encouraging in camp and is pointed upward as these guys have started to make their start. So, you know, we're prepared for it. If it does happen, it happens, and we'll worry about it then.
And, of course, we always think of CeCe and Tanaka as the 1 and the 2, whichever way you want to put them. I'm wondering, Michael Pineda and Nathan Eovaldi, you've seen really good stuff from them in camp. Can they be a 1-2? Can
Yeah.
2-3, something like that?
I don't ever worry about numbers. You know, the only time to me the number really matters is maybe if you're the starter the first game in the playoff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. On that day you pitch, you are my number 1 guy. I don't care what, you know, position you take during the start of the season, where you start, if you start the first game, second game, that day you pitch, you're my number 1 guy, and that's all I care about.
All right, this is your first camp ever without the presence of Derek Jeter. He's not here. Has it been noticeable either on the field or in the clubhouse?
Well, I mean, you notice him a lot the first day when he's not in the first hitting group. And the one thing about the game is never about one individual. It's about a team. Yeah, is it different that he's not here? Sure. It was different than when Mo wasn't here. It was different than when Georgie wasn't here. I'm sure it was different than when Yogi wasn't here anymore. But you learn to move on, and you have to adapt, and you have to handle the situation.
How do you think Didi Gregorius has handled coming over here and playing in pinstripes?
Really well so far. I mean, this young man has a smile on his face every day, and it's great to see. And I don't see him putting a lot of pressure on himself. I've seen him make adjustments already. I think he's very coachable, and I think he's going to have a good year.
Let's talk about the lineup a little bit at the top. Ellsbury, Gardner. Do you know which way you're putting them, and how much does it excite you knowing that you have that kind of speed at the top?
I've won Ellsbury Gardner the whole spring, and I'll continue to do that, and that's my thought that what we'll do during the season. I think it's very exciting because of the speed and the way they put pressure on the defense, the way they put pressure on pitchers, take their attention a little bit off the hitter, and all of a sudden they make a mistake, and now it's a 2- and 3-run home run. So I really like the way that they've worked together.
And then heart of the order, you need bounce-back seasons, obviously, from Teixeira and Beltran. Do you think you're going to get that this season?
I do. The biggest part of the bounce back for me is that they're healthy. And Tex has been extremely healthy in spring training. You know, knock on wood. I loved what I've seen. I have not seen him protect that wrist one bit. I think he's in tremendous shape. Carlos has been really healthy too. You know, we took it a little slow in the beginning just because he was coming back from surgery. But I like what I see there as well. So if they're on the field, they're going to be productive.
Is there anything you can do as manager to keep them on the field and healthy?
Well, we're going to try to rest them more a little bit. I think we're a deeper club. We're a more experienced club. You know, Garrett Jones gives us a lot of options out there where he can play first and right, and he's a power guy. Chris Young is another guy that's going to give us a lot of options, you know, all over the outfield because we feel that we can play him everywhere. So I think this team has players that have a lot of experience in backup roles, but those roles are going to be significant.
You've got Alex Rodriguez back after his suspension last season. Are you beginning to get that feel that you can rely on him for 2015?
You know, he's played really well. I think he's swung the bat really well. His at-bats have been good. The plays defensively, he's made the plays. We need him to be a big part of our club. We need him because he's a right-handed hitter, and we have a lot of left-handed hitters. In spring training, when I sit, you know, on our side, I mean, we run up 7, 8, 9 left-handed hitters in a row sometimes. So you need that right-handed presence.
And are you of the mindset that he has sort of put the clouds of his past and his suspension in the past?
I think he's handled it really well. I think he made the point. I'm not going to talk about it. You know, it's a new year. I paid my penalty, and I think he's handled it really well.
Division-wise, A lot of teams with additions, subtractions, kind of feels like a very level playing field right now. And I know that's a mindset you always have going into a season. But as you look at it, when the dust settles, are you confident that you can be atop the mountain again?
I am confident, but only the competition during those 162 games is really going to determine it. You know, you can have a great feeling, and you want your players to have that feeling and that feeling of confidence, but you got to go out and prove it every day.